finally, we may have some answers about President Autopen Joe Biden. A report from the House Oversight Committee just dropped the bombshell that not only did Biden's staff cover up his mental decline, they did use the Autopen without his knowledge.
Do you know who the people who were actually operated the Autopen were?
I do not.
Can you read your response?
I approve the use of the Autopen for the execution of all the following pardons. Thanks, Jase.
Did you yourself write this email?
I do not believe I did.
Uh-oh. Now this could officially undo the Biden presidency, making it null and void, just like the pardons. Wake up, Sleepy Joe, because potential criminal penalties are coming for you and your friends. Welcome back to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. So we will get to the Biden Autopen scandal, but I want to just remind everyone, there's been 27 days of the government shutdown, and Democrats once again, this morning, voted to keep it shut down. So seemingly there's no end in sight. And you have now, I know we always say, don't threaten me with a good time, like nothing actually happens when the government shuts down. Well, we've been shut down long enough that there are some ramifications. There are a lot of programs that are starting to get cut off from funds, that are starting to actually see the consequences of a government shutdown. You've got air traffic controllers that aren't getting paid. They still have to show up to work. And you still have to trust that they're not going to, I don't know, like just be lazy or shorthanded or overworked or, you know, whatever. Fill in the blank here that would cause them to not pay attention. Like their one job is to make sure planes don't crash. I'd like for them to get paid, is all I'm saying. You've got the military. They're not getting their full checks. They're still expected to show up to work. And then you have food stamps that aren't being issued. Now, I want to be clear. I think that there is a place in society for a certain welfare system. I think that it should be very limited. I think that you should have very, very strict qualifications. And I think that it should be used as like a safety net for a very limited amount of time. So I want to make sure, I don't think the idea of food stamps altogether in and of itself is a terrible idea as long as it is used sparingly and for people who truly actually need a helping hand. But there's something interesting happening now that these food stamp EBT, monies have stopped flowing. The people who have been the ones that have been scamming the system are crawling out of the shadows to complain about it, like this one.
With food stamps getting cut off next month, like I don't have a kid that eats like a grown man. I eat like a grown man. We like steak and lobster.
Oh.
Yeah, you like food.
Yeah, we like food. We like steak and lobster.
Steak
so
and
I
lobster.
want everybody to be prepared for me and my kid to be at their house for Thanksgiving.
Yeah, my mommy is over here. My mama is now here.
Yup, we're straight. Yup, and we're gonna eat your food.
Steak and lobster, steak and lobster, steak and lobster. I too would love to eat steak and lobster every day. Unfortunately, it's a little pricey, and we can't do that. But this woman is upset that she can't go buy steak and lobster with your tax money. Show me the place where I'm supposed to feel sorry for these people. Because for me, I think this is just rooting out all of the fraud and the waste. I mean, this is the Doge of EBT cards. Let's play the next one.
Y'all, why they took my food stamps? Now I gotta spend my big girl dollars on some food? Like, bro, X is $20. I just can't. I just really can't.
I have no words sometimes. The entitlement that these people feel for your tax. I mean, that's the craziness of it all. They literally feel entitled to your hard-earned money. And it's just really, really astounding.
I feel like the main argument I've been seeing is, it's not the government's job to feed you. It's not the government's job to take care of you. It's not
the government's responsibility to take care of you, when literally it is their job. That's literally exactly what the their job is.
See, and this is where the education system comes in and has completely failed our society, because of course that's not their job. Of course that's not what this was designed to do. This entire country was not designed to do that. I mean, there are countries that exist that, like, they really want you to be completely dependent on government. However, that idea is actually antithetical to why America was created. And you have these EBT card-waving people in society who think that it actually, and it's the government's job to take care of you. Well, it's not the government's money. It's my money. And I don't want it going to a bunch of entitled brats who are upset that they can't continue defrauding the government and in turn taxpayers. I mean, this is nuts. Okay, so let me play you this one. This is an unemployed mother of 7 and also a TikTok creator. And that's how you know you are dealing with a high caliber person. What is your title, ma'am? TikTok storytime creator. Oh, okay. She went online to try and rage bait people because she gets $3,000 a month in benefits.
So I get $3,000 in food stamps. Obviously it's 8 of us, so you do the math. That's why I get $3,000. I have no income.
It looks
so
like all the
get
food is
full
going to her.
Benefit amount. Does that make you mad too? Yeah. Be mad. Stay mad.
Okay, all right. I have a real I have a real problem with morbidly obese people getting food stamps. I don't think she needs 3,000. Are her kids okay? Should we do a welfare check? She seems to be taking the entire 3,000 and using it on herself. So I mean, look at that. Boy, she's living large off of your taxpayer money. This is one of the only countries I can think of where the quote poor people are morbidly obese. The illegals come over here and weigh 400 pounds and you're paying for it all. I mean, that's ridiculous. So I also don't know where this woman lives, but the only way that she should qualify for $3,000 a month in SNAP is if she lived in rural Alaska or Hawaii. So on top of the idea that you are providing morbidly obese women with more food to shovel in their faces, unless she lives in one of those two places, you're going to be shocked to hear this, there must be some abuse and fraud of the system taking place. Now, it gets even more maddening because people are, this is like a trend now. They're showing how entitled they are by bragging about robbing stores online.
Hi, you guys. I'm out of the store. So they wanted $7 for this. Mind you, I don't have food stamps anymore. They cut me off.
Or you could get a job.
$22 left in food stamps. So
Okay.
this is what I stole. Okay, they wanted
That's a premium
$9 for this
spice blend.
I said, I don't got $9. Then they wanted $2 for this. They wanted.
Were those Tic Tacs?
Sorry, it's all up because it's been in my purse. $7 for this. I'm making some stuffed salmon today. These are needed.
What is that? Stephen, what is that?
Okay.
I didn't see.
Let me show you the most important thing to me.
Okay.
Short ribs. Take off the label so that you don't beep. Get your meat. How many do you think that I got?
Short ribs. Smoked
How many short
salmon.
ribs is that?
Okay. So again, I'm trying this new thing where I'm trying to be as like benevolent as possible. And I'm trying really hard to give people the benefit of the doubt. But I would just like to say that to add to my previous statement, that I do believe that there should be some sort of not like a welfare industry, but just a little bit of a safety net for people who really, truly, actually need it, who really were destitute through no fault of their own. However, I do think that should include a very few items of food. Beans and rice, maybe? Like water? You don't get, what was that, Tic Tacs? Was that Tic Tacs, Steven?
Yeah, Tic Tacs, and then they get like Coke.
Right. So Tic Tacs and junk food and Coca-Cola and Cheetos and steak and lobster. I mean, the opportunities seem endless when you are dining on the taxpayer dollar. But I just, that should not be a thing. Beans, rice, I don't know, what's the cheapest?
Cheese. A block of cheese.
A block of cheese, maybe, not Borson.
No.
That's fancy. That's extra. What would be like the protein? Chicken? Would that be
beans.
The cheapest?
It said beans.
Yeah, but so
ground
do you think
beef.
That's enough protein? Ground beef.
Ground chicken. I mean, it's not hard.
I think maybe a whole chicken. That
would work.
Yeah. That's less. The point is, you don't get to be choosy. You don't get to be choosy. You don't get to wine and dine.
You don't get short ribs that you have to cook for like hours and a special thing. You get something that they can do quick and easy.
But that's why she doesn't have a job, Stephen. That's why she can't go to work, because she's at home making short ribs all day.
That's true.
That's why. I mean, it's absolutely absurd. By the way, she wasn't done. She came back with another video.
Everything out here is yours. Whether or not you take it, they call that shit free will. I call that shit eminent domain. You know what I'm saying? One thing I learned from the white men, take it! Hey, now! Take it!
All right, I changed my mind. I don't want EBT to exist. I changed my mind. I don't want the safety net to exist. Never mind. These people ruined it for everyone else. Now I don't want it. Let's, because it gets worse, apparently. It gets worse. Let's play the people saying that they plan to raid Targets and Walmarts because they don't have access to your freaking taxpayer money. And instead of going out and getting a job, instead of actually doing something worthwhile, they're just like, we're just going to break the law because we don't have access to your freaking money anymore.
Public service announcement to all my grocery store workers. These coming weeks, mind your business. All right, I'm going to say it again now. Mind your business. This ain't your company. This ain't your money. Let them people get their groceries in peace. Thank you. Bye-bye.
This is my business, man. It is my money. It is my money that you're stealing from. It is my hard work that you are taking from. I believe that it is my business. And by the way, listen, I realize someone on the left would be like, you're only showing black people. You're just being racist. Well, no, actually.
Y'all was clutching y'all purses before. This gonna be the time that you need to clutch them. Y'all was doing all that shit at the wrong time.
You tell me, am I racist for showing the videos, or is she racist for literally putting on the screen that they are going to rob white people? Where is the racism coming from? That's a lovely nose ring, man. That is just...
Did you count the amount of nose rings in these videos?
It tracks. There's a pattern. There's definitely a pattern that we are we're finding here. I just... This is how movements get co-opted. Have you noticed, Stephen? Have you noticed that everything that the left touches just turns to shit? Like I started this, I went into this blind. I didn't want to look at all the videos because I thought I want to have an honest reaction to these. And I started out the segment saying, you know what? I believe in having a welfare net, a safety net for certain people in certain circumstances. And now that I've seen all of this, I'm like, no, screw all of you. Screw all of you. I guess. I'm sorry for the ones who actually need it, but those people are ruining it for all of you. So if you want to be mad about anyone, be mad at them.
Can I add one thing too, Sarah?
Yeah.
You want to know why prices are so high everywhere?
Go ahead.
I'm saying that's why. It definitely doesn't make anything lower.
No, of
People
course
are getting free money to go and buy this stuff.
It's just, it's really gross. But I think, again, I told you guys, I'm like, trying to be glass half full these days, that the silver lining of this government shutdown is that it is exposing where the rot is when the checks stop flowing. Air traffic controllers, you should get your money. Military, you should get your money. Congress, not really. We don't like you guys. EBT and food stamps, we need some help over here, okay? Because what's going on is not okay. And we need to put a stop to it, like right now. Make sure you're subscribed to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. There's a lot more to come. I can't wait for my next guest. I will be speaking to the Attorney General of Texas. I can't wait to talk to him. First, I want to thank our sponsor this segment, CBDistillery. So, well, I'm glad I have this before the Attorney General. I don't know what he thinks about it. But I love CBDistillery. You're not going to want to miss their fall sale. Save up to 40% on everything during this fall sale. They've literally got something for every ailment you could possibly think of. If you're not sleeping well, if you're feeling stressed, if you're dealing with pain, if you're like sore after a workout, whatever the case may be, you have got to try their products. Over 90% of customers say they sleep better with CBD. That is so huge. And CBDistillery has natural solutions for, like I said, all of that, plus even relief for your pets. They've got stuff for everyone there. It's also made with clean, high-quality ingredients, very Maha-friendly. So I'm just telling you guys, it's not crazy with the, oh my gosh, it's going to get you high. No, they've just got stuff targeted for whatever you need. And it is, of course, plant-powered wellness, 100% clean. You can go to CBDistillery.com, use my promo code VIP. That is CBDistillery.com, promo code VIP. So obviously, we are very Maha friendly here. We have the Maha Moms Club that we launched here at Sara Gonzales Unfiltered, which you can join the club over at saramerch.com. Load up. Yeah, there it is. We've got all sorts of stuff over at saramerch.com. But so we always like to talk about what is happening in the Maha orbit. And last month, RFK Jr. first highlighted this new revelation that there are some studies which show potential links to autism when pregnant women take that drug. Well, now the state of Texas is suing the makers of Tylenol, saying they hid these links to autism and that it was deceptively marketed to women. Joining me now is the powerhouse behind the lawsuit, Texas Attorney General himself, Ken Paxton. You're also, I feel the need to mention every time I bring your name up, he's also running for U.S. Senate in Texas, and he's going to totally crush and destroy his opposition. I said it, he didn't. But General, I'm so glad that you're here. I want to first talk about this Tylenol lawsuit. This is epic. What made you go, you know what? We're suing you too.
So just learning about the studies and the science behind it matters. I mean, these are kids that are permanently altered.
Yeah.
This is the type of things, whether it's transitioning kids or going after the vaccine, that harm people, that these companies know about it and they don't tell us. They make hundreds of millions, billions of dollars off these products and they don't disclose they're harmful.
Right.
That's basic human decency, right? And so that's part of my job, is to protect consumers from companies that are doing bad things. And that's what we're doing here.
Yeah. It was interesting watching the backlash. I realized that anyone in Trump's orbit, first it started with Trump, orange man bad. Anything that Trump is for, they are against. Anything Trump is against, they are for. And it has seemed to extend to President Trump's allies, literally anyone within his orbit. They have to take the anti-position. And it was very alarming for me to see after RFK Jr. announced this. You had these TikTok videos of these pregnant women who, just to spite RFK, were like, I'm going to take a bunch of Tylenol on video and, knock it back with some water. Ha ha. Screw you. And I'm like, what are we doing? How have we been reduced to this? I thought that this was the party of science. And it seems like anytime you give them a scientific study and say, hey, this company was fraudulently misrepresenting a COVID vaccine, Tylenol, whatever it is, they can't handle it. Like, it doesn't compute for them.
Well, and the fact that you'd be willing to ignore the science and maybe take the risk that, I hope it's not right.
Right.
And I might damage my kid permanently.
Exactly.
seems a little insane to me.
It really is.
Like your mind is not working correctly.
Yeah, right.
I mean, why would you do that?
If there was just like the minute risk that RFK Jr. was right, why would you risk it?
Maybe throw rocks at a paper RFK Jr. sign, right? I mean,
Right.
go take the chance that you're wrong.
Yeah.
That the science is not accurate, the studies are not accurate, and that your kid is going to have. Think of how bad you're going to feel if there is a bad result.
I know. It's just been so insane watching. Speaking of insane, I did want to also bring up Gene Wu. He is, of course, one of the head Democrats here in the state of Texas. He posted on X, a screenshot of an article about you suing Tylenol. And he said, "Hey, Texans, you don't have to keep electing the dumbest people on the planet."
So that's interesting that when you, instead of responding to the lawsuit, he starts calling names. That tells you everything you need to know. He doesn't have a response because the science is there. The lawsuit is a legitimate inquiry into what they've done. Mm-hmm. And is he telling me I shouldn't be asking those questions when there are potential thousands, maybe, millions of kids that have been harmed in our state and our country? And he's saying, ignore it, I'm dumb.
Right.
That seems like a pretty poor response, but not surprising since Gene Wu is known for those types of responses.
It's just, it really is unsettling to know. I mean, you have Johnson & Johnson. You actually have a history with them because you had the talc powder settlement.
Yep.
Where you have a track record of finding these companies that are deceptively marketing their practices as safe, making them pay for it. And Gene Wu is somehow like, hey, you're the bad guy.
Well, yeah. And if he looks at the results, like whether we've gone after the big tech companies or the Eli Lillys of the world for basically bribing physicians to promote certain products, I guess Gene Wu would say, stop helping Texans. Stop being successful. Stop having any inquiries. Because you could be wrong someday. Mm-hmm. But so far, we haven't been wrong. And we've stopped some really egregious practices. I guess he would say, keep harming Texans because, you're dumb. I don't know what he would say. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, it really is sad to see. By the way, just for the record, the idea that Tylenol could be dangerous to pregnant women did not seem to be controversial at all until, again, anyone within President Trump's orbit said so, because you even had in 2017 the company's X account. I mean, you're talking about social media grunts who are running the company's X account. Tylenol, it's literally at Tylenol. We actually don't recommend using any of our products while pregnant. Thank you for taking the time to voice your concerns today to someone who was asking that very question. And now you're the dumbest person on the planet.
I'm dumb, even though Tylenol admitted. And not only that, but if you look at what they did, they created a separate company and put that product, acetaminophen, over in that company, disassociated it so there would be no liability to Johnson & Johnson. When you've got a really popular product that actually works for other things and makes a lot of money, why would you put it over in a separate entity if you didn't think there was some truth to the accusation or the allegation that it created problems for children?
Right. Yeah, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Well, when you're making... It's not like it's just rumor. This is them taking actions to protect themselves from a problem that I think they know about. Otherwise, why wouldn't they just stand behind their product?
Right. Yeah, exactly right. I want to, while I've got you here,
absolutely,
I want to ask you also about one of the other battles that you are, of course, leading the charge in is the fight on protecting children from being permanently mutilated. This is one that's obviously very personal to me, not just as a mom, but as the vice president of Texas Family Project. You got a doctor to surrender her license after you sued her for prescribing gender transition drugs to children. Wow. How many children's lives did she affect?
So I think we know of at least 24. So, and we have another doctor we're in the middle of doing the same thing. I think that doctor's name is Dr. Cooper. So this is something that is hard to believe that any doctor would do this to a kid that is not fully mentally developed. I mean, we don't let kids sign contracts. We don't let them sign up for military service. They can't drink alcohol. But yes, they can make a permanent decision about their bodies that they cannot undo. And these doctors are making money off of it and doing great harm. And a lot of the studies I've seen, there's a lot of negative effects in the future, including a lot of suicides after the transition occurs. So why would we subject our children to that when they're not of age to make all of these other decisions, including, they can't even drive till they're 16.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, my personal opinion, I don't speak for the Texas Attorney General. My personal opinion is that even say you're 18, I don't think that we should be enabling delusions of grandeur. I think that we should be actually mentally treating these people for whatever illness, whatever mental illness that they have. But I mean, to do it to kids just adds another layer of evil to it. But I think that there's a common thread in this. You're talking about these doctors who are putting profits over patients. We're talking about these drug makers who are, again, putting profits over patients. I mean, it seems like, and I know you've done a lot of work. You mentioned Eli Lilly. A lot of the work that you have done has really been in this particular area where the medical industrial complex has seemed to just target the consumer. They don't seem to care at all about health.
Well, look, I mean, we look at these cereal manufacturers we've gone after, making them change like Kellogg's, and we're talking to other cereal manufacturers about the dyes that they put in these. Other countries don't allow it, and yet we've let our kids be poisoned by these products. And we've also looked at the effects of fluoride and trying to work with some of these companies that put fluoride in children's toothpaste that may have some negative impact on their intelligence.
On their IQ, yeah.
So I don't know why, and I'm so thankful for RFK Jr. highlighting this because no one before him has really done that, and I think because he has a personal experience with vaccines and what it did to his vocal cords, he feels it, and it's a personal cost to him, and he's taken his crusade to help all of America because of what he's gone through, and I appreciate that.
Have you heard from him? Are
today,
you guys in touch?
I might have today.
Really? I bet he's so happy.
Yeah, I think he's pleased.
I love that. So, all right, I've waited this long. I got to ask you about the Senate race here in Texas. I think last time you were here, it was a 2-man race. Now it's a 3-man race. Say that 3 times fast. Wesley Hunt has jumped in. Why did he do that?
Look, I don't know.
That's the nicest. Hold on. Let me just say this. I have nothing against him. He seems fine. Full disclosure, they wanted to do a podcast when I was in DC many months ago, and I had every intention to because I didn't have any reason to necessarily dislike him. But it's why would he see the race that was happening between you and John Cornyn and see what an upgrade we're about to get with you defeating John Cornyn and be like, you know what? I want to go in there.
I don't. All I know is I appreciate the nice things he's saying about me. He's saying I'm a great attorney general, that I'm the best in the country. So I can't.
You are.
And
that's the thing. He can't stop complimenting you. So why is he in the race?
Look, all I know is we got to get rid of John Cornyn. I got in this race. I didn't know Wesley was in the race. I thought he was staying out because I was in. We've had those conversations. But in the end, we've got to get rid of John Cornyn. He's had 4 terms. That's 24 years. He's been in office since I was in college. I'm 62. And I've asked Texans across the state since April 8th. I've asked, I think, almost every group I've been in front of or every even meeting of one, I've asked him this question. John's running for his 5th term. No one has ever done that in Texas history. Not Sam Houston, not Phil Gramm, not John Tower, not LBJ. He wants 30 years in the U.S. Senate, and he's going to be in his 80s. What has he done? Can you name one remarkable thing that he's accomplished in those 40 years?
No.
Nobody's ever given me an answer, not a single answer to that question. Now, we can name the bad things. He created Robinhood through judicial fiat. He limited Second Amendment rights with Joe Biden and worked with Joe Biden and was congratulated by Joe Biden. We know what he did complaining about the border wall for years and decades and how he's been for amnesty. I think he's had 16 votes in favor of amnesty. So will the real John Cornyn, first of all, please step up and acknowledge his real positions instead of making them up in the primary? And second of all, what has John done? And no one knows what that answer is. So John, maybe John can tell us because I don't know what it is. Nobody else seems to know what it is. And if you don't have any accomplishments, and by the way, I would take any 2-week period that I've been in the Attorney General's office, and I would put it up against his 40 years, other than maybe Christmas and Thanksgiving. We're not busy those weeks.
We all get a little bit of a break, right?
But other than that, in the last 11 years, I'd take any 2-week period of time, and I would tell you that we've accomplished more in 2 weeks than he's done in 40 years.
There is no way that that's not correct. That is 100% correct.
He can pick the 2 weeks. He can pick any 2 weeks. Just not Christmas and Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's really, I guess maybe in the past, I don't know, he has, I don't mean to be an ageist, but you are older than me, so I wasn't paying attention when he first started out. Maybe I'm wrong. Have there just not been any good contenders who have challenged him? Because it seems crazy to me that he would last this long being as terrible as he is.
So the deal was cut between the Bushes, Karl Rove, and him. And that was take care of us with Robin Hood so Bush doesn't have to do this legislatively so he can be president. Because it was a wealth redistribution system that John Cornyn created with a 5-4 majority opinion written by him that really affected negatively our schools. Well, that was done so that W didn't have to do it legislatively. He could be president. Wouldn't be tagged with that. So they made him Attorney General, Karl Rove, and then they moved him up to the Senate. He has had no competition that you would know of. There are people that have never run before, don't have any money.
Okay.
So he brags about these, these primaries, but he's never had a challenge. He's always been protected. And the Washington establishment is spending, I think he's spending close to $3 million a week, either attacking me or running. And they do it deceptively because all this money is coming from the Senate Leadership Fund and others like it that claim to be raising money from Republicans against Democrats, and then they deceptively spend it against people like me and even Wesley. To me, that's a deceptive trade practice. That should be looked at by some attorney generals in other states, maybe. Maybe I should look at it. I don't know, but it's wrong, and they should stop lying to their donors.
Yeah. No, you're
These
right.
are Republicans that are lying to their donors.
Yeah. It really is. It's such a nasty, corrupt. Like, I fear when you get to D.C., you're going to have to hold your nose every time you, walk around.
I've had practice even in Austin doing that.
That's fair. Okay, that's fair. You have. All right. Well, you mentioned all of the money that he is raising, which, by the way, $3 million a week could buy me so many shoes. I can't even, that money is being wasted, you guys. You can donate to me, not for anything other than you're just wasting your money. You might as well set it on fire. But he's obviously got a lot of money being thrown at him. Where can people go to donate to your campaign?
So let me say, first of all, his money, he doesn't even really have to raise most of it. It's coming just from the D.C. machine.
No, you're right. It's
just the way it works.
Who would donate to John Cornyn at this point?
Right. I mean, I find very little support for him out in the real world. So KenPaxton.com, we need all the help. We need every donor we can get because we're not allowed. They have these rules set up where they can raise more per person than I can. And
that is so messed up.
It was John McCain that set that whole thing up. McCain-Feingold was designed to get the limits really low. He claimed to be getting money out of politics. He was not. He was, but only on the challenger side. Those guys in D.C. have ways around those same rules, and they can raise a lot more per couple than I can. And they have all this access to money. So they designed it so no incumbent should ever lose. Thank God the Supreme Court created super PACs that allow us to go beyond that. That's the only reason that you have a chance.
Yeah. Honestly, I would love to, at a later point, because I know you got to go, at a later point, I would love to sit down and do a podcast with you on that particular issue, because last time we were in Lubbock at a Turning Point event, and we talked about that, and you really opened my eyes. I was like, I mean, I knew they were all corrupt, and I knew that there were, backroom deals being made to help themselves rather than their challengers. But it is so dirty when you get into the specifics of it.
It is 100% design, and nobody talks about it.
No,
nobody even really knows.
I didn't know. I didn't know until you told me.
They know, but they have these built-in. The structure of the way it's set up is built in so that they can raise a whole lot more money, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can ask these committees to help you, and they'll say no because you're not an incumbent. So then they just get these huge fundraising advantages, and people don't know that their money is being used against other Republicans. And then they go out and lie about it.
Right. Yeah, it's so messed up. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton, also our next United States Senator. I'm going to keep saying that until it becomes true. And then I'm going to come visit you in your Senate office. I'm so excited.
You're invited anytime.
Great. Keep up the great work. You're invited back here anytime as well. The best damn Attorney General in the country, Ken Paxton. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Got to go to break here, but I do want to thank our sponsor before we do, Jase Medical. So Jase Medical is there. We just talked about the medical industry. They are not part of the medical industrial complex, actually, because what they're going to do is offer you a kit for emergencies with, antibiotics and things that would be life-saving in the event of an emergency. We talk about emergency food. We never talk about emergency medication. That's where Jase comes in. You can customize it to your liking. You can add an EpiPen if you've got someone with an allergy in your family. Whatever the case is, they've got you covered. You can go to jase.com, get that Jase case, customize it to your liking. Enter promo code Sara, by the way, at checkout for a discount on your order. That is promo code SARA at jase.com. So the House Oversight Committee finally dropped its report on President Biden's use of Autopen and the cover-up of his mental decline. And as you probably already guessed, because you have eyeballs and a working brain, there was a coordinated cover-up of his deterioration from the public. I know. Oh my gosh. Show me your shocked face. What? But more importantly, the senior Biden staff exercised presidential authority or facilitated executive actions without direct authorization from President Biden himself. And now that they've found all of this out through their report, they consider that any action that was signed with Autopen is null and void if it is discovered that Joe Biden did not know about it, which is, of course, the right call. America, well, first of all, America didn't elect Joe Biden. I will take that to my grave. The 2020 election was rigged. Joe Biden did not get 81 million votes more than Barack Obama, and it was not the safest and most secure election of all time. But if we are to assume that America elected this man, Weekend at Bernie's president, you can't do that. You can't farm out his decisions and his signatures to his senior staff without him even knowing about it. So this is now being referred to Attorney General Pam Bondi to look into. He signed hundreds of actions with Autopen. We already know that as a fact. The question is, which ones did he actually know about? And now that will be in the hands of the DOJ. But I mean, we had all of these pardons, all of these preemptive pardons on the way out the door. In the 11th hour, Joe Biden was like, President Autopen was like, just to be sure, I'm going to sign pardons for all of my family and for Dr. Fauci and Mark Milley and the January 6th fake committee members, Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, Adam Kinzinger, Jamie Raskin. They didn't commit crimes. Why would you suggest such a thing? It's just a just in case. And so if he didn't know about these, they won't exist. And then, Dr. Fauci, we're coming for you. Here to join me to discuss all of this are two of my very dear friends. We have Chad Prather, host of the Chad Prather Show, along with Breanna Morello, of course, of the Breanna Morello Show, along with InfoWars. You guys, well, by the way, can I just for a second, you guys are overachievers. You both have different shows going on. Breanna's got like multiple different shows going on. Chad has Before the Noise in the mornings. And you guys are just like, I don't know, you're just making me look lazy and I don't appreciate it. Breanna, I'm gonna go to you first. Ladies first here. What's your take on this?
Surprise. I was sitting back and watching the pardons they were going out. And, Joe Biden allegedly gave clemency to a convicted pedophile, somebody with thousands of child pornographic images on his devices. He was also a Chinese national. And so that was kind of the first big red flag on all of this. And then the media covered for it. They didn't actually cover that story at all. I think I was the only reporter talking about it initially. And then everyone else caught wind of it afterwards. So it's not surprising. I couldn't imagine why any president would have wanted their legacy to be freeing a convicted pedophile with over 42,000 child pornographic images on their devices. So that's what happened. And the fact that he pardoned the whole J6 committee when they were 10, like everything was legitimate, tells you everything you need to know about all of this.
Yeah, I completely agree. And the question becomes, Chad, will Pam Bondi do anything about it?
That's a big question. The other big question is why you didn't have me on for the EBT segment. I'm mad at you for that. But we've talked for years about this shadow government. But now we know the real shadow was right in front of us. You've got a White House run by handler staffers and an electric pen that never blinks, never questions, never thinks, right? So here's the thing. Will she do anything about it? Well, this isn't a partisan issue anymore. It's a constitutional meltdown, because if the president's authority can be automated, then what's left of the republic, right? So we have to investigate this, because the presidency was never meant to be a remote controlled office. It's supposed to be one man, one conscience, one signature. If you're going to talk about executive authority and the executive is missing, we got a problem, because that whole deal, backed by the weight of his awareness and responsibility, which we know was in cognitive decline, you got to investigate this. So please, this is not a partisan issue. Please, we got to get to the bottom of this. They're not going to get to the bottom of the 2020 election that you alluded to earlier. We've got to at least look at this, because these are some real criminals, as Breanna alluded to, that need to be held accountable.
Yeah, Breanna, I know that you have not been shy about criticizing the DOJ and the Attorney General's office when necessary. I don't know that I trust Pam Bondi to get to the bottom of anything.
Yeah, I saw a tweet where she was asking for just more information to be given over to her office and that she's received it too. She confirmed that. I think it was a couple of hours ago. So she's aware of all of this. Now, again, we've known this for quite some time now. And I know Ed Martin, who is President Trump's pardon attorney, is also helping out with the weaponization investigations. I know Ed Martin is in this fight for all the right reasons, and it wouldn't be him holding any of this up. I'm sure if he had it his way, a lot of these individuals would be dragged off in handcuffs by now. AG Pam Bondi has been a massive disappointment. Deputy AG Todd Blanche as well. Absolute disappointment. There's no excuse for any of the things that they haven't done yet. They still sit back and just kind of relax and enjoy everything that's happening, and they're not aggressive enough. We're hearing about all these U.S. attorneys who are landing indictments. We've heard about, I believe, 3 so far. The reality of it is these U.S. attorneys aren't receiving any assistance yet from Pam Bondi herself. She sits back, she does her Fox News hits, but she doesn't actually help behind the scenes. A lot of these people feel like they've been left behind or they're forced to do this all on their own, and she doesn't really have her hand in any of this. I think the Trump administration sees through that, though. I think President Trump sees it. I think that's the reason why they moved the Missouri AG over into the co-deputy director of the FBI role. I think he's just reading up and learning about all of these things. And if she doesn't act soon, I do truly believe that she's going to be swapped out for Bailey, who's right now sitting at the FBI.
Yeah, that's a great point. And it was a quiet change that they made, like, oh, look, you guys are going to be co-directors or co-deputy directors. Isn't that cute? You guys are going to be besties now. And it was like, that seems strange if that's not part of a master plan to start slowly moving people out. So I did at least I felt good about that. I was heartened by that. Chad, I want to ask you too, you mentioned the constitutional crisis that this would put us in. And I agree. It's why I keep talking about it on my show. It's just like, guys, we can't forget that we talk about the deep state all the time. They literally had a potato in office as president of the United States and were making decisions and he didn't even know about it. That is as much as the Democrats like to talk about democracy, I mean, it's in their name, and it is the most undemocratic thing that you could possibly do is to allow that type of behavior to happen. But I also go back to President Trump before he was elected the first time when he was in the debates and he said that he would lock Hillary Clinton up for, of course, her crimes, not just because she was his political opposition. And I keep going back to that and going, honestly, you should have done that, because now these people think that they're never going to get they're going to get a slap on the wrist. They're never going to be held accountable. They go through all of this. And then for what? It's just going to get worse the next time they get into office.
Yeah. Well, every morning I start my day by going over to X and I look at Breanna Morello's account, and she lists how many days that the president's been in office without an arrest from the Biden administration. It's sort of like walking into a manufacturing plant and seeing how many days since a lost time accident. There's still 0. So we had this government that was on autopilot. This is a presidency that was running itself like the captain in the airplane napping in the cabin. And so when you peel back the curtain, you find no wizard, just a pin on repeat. And that's what you've got. So I think Andrew Bailey is the 6-month plan. I think he was, if you go back from the date when he started with that co-deputy directorship. I think that he is the plan to move in there. And I certainly hope he is. I think he's a guy who'll bring some real justice. But the hypocrisy in the air is really thick. When they say that Trump is unfit for office and they say the adults were back in charge when Biden was elected, maybe there were some adults in the building, but not the ones with the title, because it was aides and staffers that are using Biden's name and signature without full knowledge or approval. That's criminal. It's certainly not leadership. It's impersonation. So, yeah, the irony is Biden campaigned on restoring decency and integrity. It turns out the only thing being restored was the ink cartridge in the Autopen. So history's not going to be kind to Joe Biden and this administration. So I hope that they will do something about this, because I know we the people are certainly demanding it. And I believe that maybe it's going to turn out that picture of the Autopen that Trump was using to troll as the picture of the president's isn't going to be so much of a troll, but a reality of holding him accountable.
Yeah, just actual history. It will just reflect history, honestly. I go back and I know we got to go to break here in a second, but I go back and I look at all of the ways that the DOJ run by Pam Bondi has screwed things up. And every time, I will tell you guys, every time, I am so salty about my last guest, Attorney General Ken Paxton here in the state of Texas. Every time I'm like, he never would have let that happen. He would have done this. He would have released it. Every time I can't stop myself. It's just like, golly, what a huge miss. what a huge missed opportunity that was to get a real warrior in that position. Hopefully this is the 6-month plan, as you guys pointed out. All right, stick with me. We got to take a quick break, and then we will be back with more. First, actually, you know what? Can you call Chad up? Chad, I want to tell you. I want to tell you about BlueChew. Do you know about BlueChew?
I've heard of it.
I
need it.
I don't know. I don't know if you need it. But I'm just saying, men sometimes suffer from ED. But here's the thing about BlueChew.
More than sometimes. I'm 52 years old. Are you kidding me? Why are you showing Breanna right now? What is she giggling about?
So,
I'll buy it right now.
Okay. All right. So BlueChew.com. Promo code Sara. And the great thing about BlueChew is that you deal with a licensed doctor, okay? So they're still prescribing you the right blend, whatever you would call it. But, you get it shipped directly to your door. It's very, very convenient. And the thing is I talk about ED and I tell men, it doesn't have to be ED. It can just be just spice up your life. Like the Spice Girls said. There you go. Spice up your life with BlueChew, okay? Try your first month of BlueChew for free when you use promo code Sara at checkout. You're just going to pay $5 for shipping. Stop being vanilla. Just try it out. Have fun on a Friday night. BlueChew.com, promo code Sara. We only have a couple minutes left, but I would be remiss if I did not play President Trump in Japan now, where he, it's cool because we have, guys, a president and a USO show in one. And so he, of course, did his signature YMCA dance for the troops there in Japan. I wish YouTube doesn't let us play the copyrighted music, but there he is. And it's just so, there's something so wholesome about this. He's just a grandpa doing a dance. We did the one where the Malaysian dancers were dancing for him yesterday. We played that. The Malaysian dancers were dancing for him. And he's like, I don't know what the hell you guys are doing, but I know that I've got my dance and I've got it down and I'm just going to do it. And that's going to be where I live. Breanna, is there anything more wholesome than that?
There's nothing more wholesome. Maybe Joe Biden would give him a run for his money, though. Remember when Joe Biden used to just freeze on stage and look like he was pooping his pants or his diaper? That was what we had 4 years ago. So we're very thankful to have that. Trump is back. America's back. And we're great on the world stage. So this is exciting to see, I must say, Sara.
Yeah, it really is. It's heartwarming. To Breanna's point, Chad, real quick, we've got about less than a minute here. To Breanna's point, it's like, well, Joe Biden couldn't even stand up and President Trump is dancing all the time.
Well, I go back to when they were having that, out on the White House lawn, and I think Kirk Franklin was up on the stage, and Kamala, or whatever her name was, she was dancing around, and Joe was trying to find himself. There was no groove at all to that old guy. Remember that image? But the thing I like about Trump is he's comfortable in his own skin. Now, he's a weird dude. He doesn't live on the same planet we do, but he's comfortable in his own skin. And it's refreshing. Somebody that knows who they are, how they are, and what they're going to behave like. They're going to do it, and they don't care what anybody thinks. And that's refreshing to me.
Yeah, you're right. Two of my very best friends, Breanna Morello and Chad Prather, make sure you are following both of them on X. Follow their shows. Follow all the stuff they're doing because they're way more overachievers than me. I appreciate you guys.
Love you.